Hey guys, it's great to see you. Our Save a Life tours, we like to highlight stories of special people in our lives. Today I've got Sherry Parker with me, who's been a very special friend for at least 20, maybe 30 years now. So pretty exciting. And we're going to be talking about her and her family and her husband, Bill Parker, who was very special for many of us and made an impact here at WaterStep and in a lot of places. But we're gonna talk about Bill's life. We lost Bill, what was the date?
January 6th.
January the 6th, right into 2018, yeah. So this is Bill. You'll see this picture here. And Bill's in Nepal here after their big earthquake there, working with some folks. I had the honor of spending some time with Bill in Puerto Rico right before he was diagnosed, and then we just lost him too fast. So it's heartbreaking with that. But today, I just want to tell you, Sherry, we're so thankful for you and your family. And I just remember Sherry brought a little album in here. We were kind of looking at pictures about her and her family and when things started. But I thought, oh my gosh, how do we start talking about this? So we started talking about maybe, do you remember when we started connecting? I mean, did y'all come to Mega Worship years ago and all that stuff? Oh my gosh. It's a long time ago.
We should be doing Mega Worship.
Let's do it. Okay.
We should be doing it.
It's
Yeah.
a good time.
It was awesome. But the first time that we really got connected with you, Mark, is you were teaching at Simmons Bible College. And we had mutual friend named Vernon Hodge.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Vernon and Bill knew each other from doing prison ministry.
Okay.
And so we got a call from Vernon and, hey, Bill Parker, Mark Hogg wants you to go down to Simmons and build VHS tape.
Oh my gosh, it was the library we put in
the
there.
library.
Oh my gosh. Holy mackerel, that was forever ago. That was a long time ago.
And I knew your name because Angel went to school with my daughter Jessica.
That's right.
So I knew I had
our daughter.
Yeah, I knew Marcia from coming in. I hadn't ever met you, but then that brought the whole picture together.
Now, thank you so much because, we talked about several things the other day, but this morning I was like, where's the beginning? Where's the beginning? Where's the beginning?
That's the beginning.
That's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I want to say it was probably, it was because of us going to Simmons for you. We never saw you there. We just went and did this job there. I mean, we were there for 2 hours and we went home. But because of that, you reached out to us about Edge 2001.
That was the big trip we did to Kenya, Brazil, and Costa Rica.
Yes.
In 2001.
Yes.
And we had over 160 people go.
Yes.
And a couple of people had families go, but I think your family was by far the largest with the 5 of you guys.
Yeah.
And then I don't think anybody took their entire family, but y'all did that.
Yes.
Y'all went to Brazil.
Yeah, and you let our youngest go, Matthew, even though he was a little too young to go, but...
And I look back on that, and I'm glad it was a good decision. I had some concerns then about young Matt.
Well, that was okay. There might have been some other ones we should have left home, but Matt was okay. Matt did fine, so... Yeah, that was our very first mission trip, individually or as a family.
All the time that I spent with Bill since then, just hanging with him or traveling with him or whatever, he would always bring up that trip. And it seemed to have impacted him a whole lot.
That's cool.
And he talked about it, being a part of, he talked about it impacting your family, but I always got the impression when we talked about it, it was him that was impacted with his family on that trip. And I think that's what meant so much to him, is he was in a place with his family and he grew with everybody.
Absolutely.
So I just thought that was beautiful.
It is beautiful. And it was the first of a lot of trips that he would do with the kids, right? And he and Jess did a lot of stuff in Costa Rica for you. So they spent a lot of time, and Matthew spent a lot of time there also. And so it was the first of many trips, and then Bill and I, of course, did a number of trips together too. So.
Yeah. What do you think, what do you think was kind of the the Simmons Bible College thing was so fun. I was teaching. I was the only white pastor at Simmons Bible College.
You're the only white person.
That's right. And it was so fun because I didn't ever really get to preach much. They wouldn't let me do that, but they let me. I wasn't good at the whooping yet, but they let me pray sometimes, and that was exciting.
Nice.
But I got to teach a course in youth ministry and a course in missions. And so we had gotten all these materials back then, I think from youth specialties. And we were able to load in this huge library over at Simmons, which was wonderful. That we got to be a part of, so it's great.
So cool.
But so as we kind of walked together and did things together, what do you think for Bill did you ever notice a moment or something that's kind of like a hook for him that was like, man, I like this WaterStep thing? Of course, we were talking about it the other day. She says, well, whatever name you are now. You know, we've gone through quite a few names, these seasons.
It was a celebration.
That's right.
It wasn't a demeaning comment.
No, I didn't hear that from you at all.
Okay.
But it's been fun.
It has been fun.
Go to Mega Ministries Edge Outreach and now WaterStep.
Yeah.
But did you ever notice a hook that kind of grabbed him?
Yeah, you were the hook, Mark. You were the hook that grabbed him.
That's a good thing.
Well, it is a good thing. And, you know, you and Bill had, you know, quite a bit in common personality-wise. You're both big dreamers. Both big dreamers, and you're out there with the vision. And Bill was that way too, and he loved that about you. And he loved your energy. And so, you know, God created him in such a way where he had many passions. But he was a particularly good teacher.
No doubt.
Yeah, he taught, I mean, whether he was teaching, you know, somebody how to fly,
That's right.
or whether he was teaching how to set up a purification system. On the last trip, he did some health and hygiene training, I believe.
He sure did.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Of course, he was a little poopy about that. We had to work on that little attitude
I
for
bet.
a few minutes.
I bet.
Yeah.
I put the squeeze on him about it.
That's
so,
good.
anyways, he was a great teacher, and he loved young people, and young people loved Bill Parker.
You know, we've got a great shot that's a part of, for many of you, I don't know if you know this or not, but for the last week and a half, we've been doing this little run to celebrate Bill with your church, Shallow United Methodist Church. They kind of started this energy. And now we got people running all over the world for this thing, which is fun.
Yeah.
But it's to celebrate Bill's life. And we got a picture in there, and it's one of my favorite shots. I've got a shot of Bill in my shop. So I have several, not many, like 4 guys in there that have meant a lot to me in my life, and Bill's one of them. And he's in Haiti when we did that disaster. He's squatted down in front of a fence, and there's all these children just lit up listening to him tell something. But this shot from Puerto Rico is a great shot, and he's talking. There were these teenage young girls that showed up to help us teach during the Puerto Rico response that we did. And they loved hanging with him. It was awesome. And we got this great shot of him being all jazzed up about that. But that's one of the things that was interesting, I think, to Bill. Bill was kind of a man's man. I mean, it was so fun to be with Bill. You get to be, you know, you hang out with Bill and you go home and you're like, I wonder if I could grow up to be like that. That'd be cool. Be like Bill Parker. But, you know, the disasters, he happened to be in the right place at the right time when we did our first disaster in Costa Rica in 2009.
Yes.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And he came up with a process that we still use today of quickly putting together a manifold if you're in a disaster situation. But he helped us remodel that whole situation. It was great.
That's cool.
And, but, you know, it's been neat. I learned so much with Bill. I was on, we had a Zoom call with Southcom yesterday. And we were able to present with some NGOs. And I always think about Bill with Southcom because we never knew what we needed to do, who we needed to know, how we needed to connect to be a part of a disaster in Haiti. Bill did. Yeah. And he got us connected with the military to be escorted in those flights into Haiti. And the thing is that was one of those turning points. I mean, there's probably 5 or 6 turning points in the ministry over the years that were hard turning points. Like we're turning here, and now we see where we need to be going,
Yeah.
and that was one of them. And I loved, I was telling somebody today, I was on the Bill, on the phone with Bill sometimes 10 to 12 hours a day, off and on, off and on. I still have hearing damage from those weeks when we were in Haiti, because I had the phone with me all the time, yeah. But
I'm laughing because I thought you were joking.
No, I'm
You're not
serious.
joking.
No,
I'm sorry.
they started ringing pretty good. And because I always had the phone to me, most of the time Bill was on the other side, because we're trying to figure out what to do, because we're with all these behemoth groups responding to the disaster.
Yes.
And how does WaterStep figure out what we're supposed to do? And I'll never forget, Bill said, we've been going to these meetings and we're getting nowhere. They're not doing anything. It's everybody kind of bumping their chests up. And he says, I want to take the team, I want to go to the epicenter, and we've got the connections to do something valuable, and I want to go tomorrow. And I said, let's do it.
Go.
It was great. And so we learned so much there. And he was a part of so many opportunities for us to be in those situations, but like you said, to teach.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite thing, is whether it was being on a retreat with him here in the U.S., working with men, watching him with other folks. But I loved watching him nourish and teach people. And he did that with me at your dining room table right there in your kitchen when I got to drop by. Just on happenstance, a lot of times I just kind of drop by here every day.
Yeah.
And I love
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Well, Bill was all in, whatever he was doing, he was 100%. When he was flying jets, I'm all in. I'm a fighter pilot. The day he left that base, that's not who I am anymore. And when he was on mission with WaterStep, I'm all in. This is who I am at the moment.
Right.
That's exactly who I am. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to be that way, and just cool to look back and see how even though he didn't think of himself as, hey, I'm a military pilot, because of God bringing him through that season of his life, he had the connections and the wherewithal to use those talents and gifts for WaterStep down the road.
And he never used anything like that with arrogance. It was on, and I tell you, my favorite verse is that verse out of Micah. What does the Lord require?
It's awesome.
That's right. To do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly. He and I both shared that favorite verse together, which I love that.
That's cool.
One last quick story. You were saying he's all in and he's ready. And I'll never forget in Puerto Rico, we were training. We had two big sessions, one during the first part of the day and one in the afternoon, and we were training disaster response workers on our equipment.
Yes.
And a group came in and said, we got to go right now. We got to help these folks. And Bill said, I'm gone. I'm in. Let's go. Let's get this done today. And so he was out. We got it done, came back, and immediately we had an inspirational story that affected the rest of the week, that inspired so many people. But he always knew, let's just get this done. Let's do the next right thing. Let's move to the next right thing. And I love that.
It's good.
I can't thank you enough for hanging out with me today.
It's my blessing. My blessing. Thank you. This ministry has, just grown all my kids, right? Grown my kids and brought them to where they are right now, and gave Bill and I a lot of joy. So
Us too.
it's great.
We've done this together.
It's been a blessing.
Sure, you are very special. We hadn't even talked about all the mission house stuff and everything.
Oh,
Well, maybe we need to do another little thing.
That's
together.
right.
Let's see how.
So many stories.
A lot of.
Yeah.
Thanks for today, and thank you guys for being a part of the tour. And excited to get y'all to be a part. Come hang out with us. Come tour physically once the COVID disaster gets done. But let's keep impacting lives together. Thanks for being a part. Thank you, Sherry. We love you.
Love you too.